ULTI.TV.
Welcome to round 3 Super League early time slot. We've got Swill coming up against Gilgamesh. Alright, so we're looking at Gilgamesh warming up right now. It's pretty nice out here. There's no real wind. It's about 24-25, similar to last week. Although it does look a little blustery over there in the trees at the top. So, you know, we might have a little bit of fluky wind coming in. Might creep in as the night goes on. Alright, so having a look at Gilgamesh as they warm up. Last week they had a close loss actually against Rhubarb. Gilgamesh played a pretty tight man game. They were looking to create mismatches on the turn. They put their key receivers against some of the weaker players of Rhubarb. It kind of worked when they did get the turns, although it wasn't that effective at generating turns. The turns that Rhubarb really forced were skill errors, drops, that kind of thing. But when they did get the D, they punished, and we saw that in the first couple of points straight away. Pretty much shots to Brett when he's up against people like Rex. Rhubarb got better at that, but it's probably going to be another area that Gilgamesh will come out with tonight. So they persist. On offense, we saw them persist pretty much up the line into the open side. Pretty much a real lack of going for breaks, looking for attack the break side, making it easier for the receivers. The receivers were working hard, and they kept throwing it to their key receivers, but it just kept going up the line, and it got harder as they moved up the field. They started to run out of space the closer you get to the end zone. So I think Swill, who's the opposition tonight, I think they want to play man against them. Even though they do have the athletic edge over Swill, if you give them zone, it lets them move the disc side to side, which they aren't really doing in man. If they were swinging it side to side in man, they'd be opening up the field a lot more. But when they're playing against man, they're looking pretty much to stay on one side of the field. So you can see if Swill throw a zone against them, they'll probably start moving it a lot better, and it will just compound their defense and trying to slow them down, because they'll automatically just swing. So we can have a look now at Swill. Swill's warming up as well. So last week was just a real tale of the receivers not cutting, and when they did cut, it was way too late. We saw Val and Sean get it, pull receptions or dead disc, and they were holding it for stall of 4, stall of 5 before they could even see anyone. So it's a real quick, real easy fix. Just cut before you need to be. I mean, get open and get some flow happening. There's also not enough lateral movement. Break throws, hammer throws, attacking the break side, attacking the weak side. They can really look to exploit that a bit better. The problem for Swill tonight is they are missing Sean Lace, who's pretty much the guy who's hanging behind the disc the whole time. Normally that would be a huge loss, but it might not be that bad considering they had an absolute embarrassment of wealth of handlers. Sean was taking up the slot and pushing less athletic players upfield. So the absence of Sean could be a benefit for them, really. If that lets them stick Kev back at handler instead of upfield, they might have more athletic players upfield. They might be able to open up the field a bit more. But it is absolutely essential that they look to attack the break side and they look to move it laterally a bit more. The thing about Swill is 43 turns so far this league versus every other team under 33. So that's a huge increase in turns, and they're just feeding the disc to the opposition a lot more. They have been getting beaten on man a lot on the open side, so on defense they can just look to play under, force the other team to huck it a bit more maybe if it comes to that, but just play harder on D on the open side. Alright, so we're ready for action. So we got Swill, they look like they're on O. Yeah. We got Gilgamesh on the D. So yeah, as we said, beautiful conditions out here. Really, really nice. There was a little bit of wind earlier in the day, but it's not too bad. Slight breeze here, but I don't think zone would be a good move yet. Got a tall line on from Gilgamesh. Got Tim Davis, Johnny, Brett. No expenses spared in the height department. Swill, sorry, Swill, as I said, are missing Sean Lace, and they've got one sub as it is right now. One sub. Luckily, it's not 40 degrees, but they are going to get a lot more tired. Come on, Tim, get it going. Come on. Oh, all that build up for that. Well, short pull. Vert stack again, look. From Swill, we saw it last week. There's a bit of a cut earlier, that's good. Bruce taking it upon himself to cut earlier. But the shot is macked on. Oh, well done. Good read. Good adjustment there from Rog. Probably not the right shot from Bruce, but it's a different person taking the shots. 1-0. So clean start for Swill on O. Saw that last week, but it's going to be the later points that are going to be more crucial. First stack again. Oh, it's a zone. Jimmy on the mark. Who's deep then? Oh yeah, Botka. Interesting choice for Mark, but he's probably the fittest guy out there. Pretty patient movement here. No real pressure on the mark. Short, easy throws. High stall count. Hammer. Oh, it's right in the sun there. That might become a problem. Oh, easy up the line. Johnny, the popping king. Easy throw. There you go. Great for the goal. Okay, so we get another look at Swill on O. What really emphasises their lack of cutting early is that real increased pressure on their handlers, and you can see that like through the stats. I'll put some stats out there as they're starting to move it here. 84%. Their top 4 throwers are averaging 84% efficiency, so that's a pretty high turn rate for those guys you're actually trusting with the disc. The other thing is those guys are averaging right now 78% of all throws of the team. So when you put that 84% hit rate on 78% of all the throws thrown by the team, that results in a hell of a lot more turnovers than we're seeing from every other team. They're working it all right here, nice and patient. Hasn't been a shot up, there's been a call. Joe's on the ground. But yeah, as I was saying, is that 84%, when that is on 78% of the throws, that's real hard work, and that's just a hell of a lot more pressure that the throwers are going to feel. They're getting pretty much they're getting 3 of every 4 throws. When you're throwing to the same person over and over, not really gaining, you just start to feel it. Val, outside in, he's leant back a bit better, that's much nicer, but great bit, Jimmy, but it's out. Val leant back on that, but still put it a bit too far. So Foley walks it up. It's looking zone. That's why there's no real semblance of the stack. It wasn't the right look in the first point. Let's see if they transition out of it or something. Jimmy again on the mark. See, this is what I was talking about before the game. Zone, oh, Timmy puts a nice easy throw up, and this is whatever you want, Taz. You got the whole field. Now the pressure mounts. Now Brett's back there handling. That's a bit interesting. Not so trusty with the disc last week. Foley clean break, but it's over. Jimmy gets up. Johnny gets up nicely. Taz needs to chill. Any throw for a goal. Come on. See this lateral movement. Gilgamesh don't do this when it's man. They force it up one line, and that's their weakness. Allowing them to do this with zone results in goals. It's a nice play from Gilgamesh. Alright, so Gilgamesh with the D. I think they'll probably throw a man. It'll be interesting to see what they pick. See if we can, as the game progresses, we can see, which captain here has watched more games on ULTI.TV. Because You could really pick apart quite a lot from just watching the 2 games that have been. Now, if Johnny's paying attention, he'll notice that Swill had a lot of problems last week against Junkyard when it was a flick force. That flick force forces Val, who's a lefty, into a backhand, and he kind of throws his head around in his backhand motion. So he really doesn't have a good look at the target. It is not that accurate. And it also forces Sean Lace into his flick. It's probably not exactly a weakness, but his flick break isn't as good as his backhand break. So I think probably flick force is the right move here. We'll see if Johnny's been watching. Pool's going to float out. Brick for Kev, host stack again. It's a backhand force. Bruce assuming that in-cut responsibility. We get a nice break off. Here we go, using both sides of the field. Val doesn't throw his head around on that one, and it's beautiful. There we go, using James Conner deep. That's a good move. 2-all. So Rogers pulled up a little bit funny earlier. He's back out there though. Bit of a problem with his quads. So we'll see how that goes. But that was much better offense there from Swill. You see them attacking a break side and actually moving it up that break side. It's something they've really struggled with in previous weeks. Oh, looks like it's going to sail out. Oh, Kev's frustrated. So vert stack. Oh, Brett's not in position. Looks like... No, it's a zone, it's a zone. Relax, PJ, relax. Zone look again. Marty on the mark this time. Got Jimmy deep. Oh, very easy up the line. Just absolutely running him ragged. Bruce, come on. Different look. 3-2. So Gilgamesh now with another D point. They're looking very good on the zone O. Absolutely shredding the Swill zone. Fatty with the weapon again. It's quite nice. And it's going to land in. So vert stack. Bruce cutting straight away. This is much better. Look at that deep. That was on. Looked off. Bruce with the under. There we go. Here's a bit of movement. Open side movement though. They need to attack both sides of the field. Kev's a bit far away here, but he'll get into play. Val gets the under. Val puts it up. Val, that's quite a nice look, but it's Brett. Brett gets up, huge. Comfortably had that. Alright, so finally Swill with a man look here. Let's see how it goes. Johnny versus Marty's probably a little bit of a mismatch there. Fatty the easy under. Weapon. It's going to be Brett. Brett's going to get there. Come on, Brett. So comfy. So comfy. Got to put a bit of pressure in there. It's 4-2. Okay, so D-line just rolls on for Gilgamesh. Another D point. Interesting little situation there for Swill on the turn, because they can either really look to take away Fatty, mark Fatty hard and force flick, or on the backhand side it's going to be Johnny, probably Foley as well, who they really need to take away from the unders. So it's a bit of a conundrum there. They've got to work that out. But rather fortuitous that they got a man look in there just because of the O turn. We'll see if they keep sticking with their zone look. If they get another O point in, they're going to have to earn their D points first. Or again, stagnant from everyone upfield. Or Mark just holds on. Val with the easy reset. Touch on that. Foley gets in there. Scary got a slight touch on that, but the D points aren't going to go to him. Backhand force. Mark Bocker on the mark. He had a fantastic D game last game. 4 blocks. Open shot, looked off. Dump swing, here we go. There's the swing. Nice. Straight away. Scott Rossack always on the swing. Open side, comfortable. Marty needs to hold, break, goal. 5-2. Swill really need to get their stack going. It's quite obvious that their lack of unders is hurting them. So we saw a timeout there from Swill, starting to feel the pressure. Gilgamesh real happy in their huddle. Yeah, they're amping up the D. Everyone's getting pretty loud. Looking to treasure the disc a little bit more when they do get the turn. I don't think they've really made any errors where they need to treasure the disc a bit more. But Johnny may be being a little bit control freakish. He did blow up last week at Scary for his only turn of the game when Johnny had a couple more. So maybe a little bit of control needed. So it's going to be man, vert again from Swill. There's the up the line. They do get that off quite a bit. Here we go, Marty to jump on. There you go, nice work. Nice weighted throw there from Kev. And back on the board. I think it's 5-3. Alright, so Swill have earned a D point. They put one in. Let's see what they do. I can see Bruce, he's pointing at people and one at a time, so I think he's got a man here. I think that's the right look. Gilgamesh absolutely tearing them a new one every time they put a zone on. They could probably look to transition out, but they're sticking with it the whole field and it just did not work. So man, probably the right look. They need this pool to land in, help that pressure build, and it's good. But people are a bit slow getting down. It's not up. Big wind up from Mike. Getting the easy unders, moving at both sides. There's that turn. There's that simple kind of error that they had last week. Similar kind of stuff, just kind of moving it sideways, simple unders, drops and that kind of thing. Sneaks in when they play man. Bruce with the break. Bruce needs to continue with the break. Nah, open for Val with big gain against Johnny. Johnny would probably rate himself for being mismatched there, so not a good look to get under so free, but they've got to keep getting these unders. The pressure is building. Where are the handlers? They get a break. Oh, simple turn. That's going to hurt them. They earned it. No, it looks like a call. Looks like Kev's made a call. 2 veterans of Ultimate going to have a bit of a word. See what the ruling is. I think it's a foul call. I think Kev's call saying Mike got a hand on him. No contest. Mike with the hand signals. Very good. Very good. That's handy for a commentator. So it looks like it's going to be Kev's. It's relatively free down there. Muddy against Foley. Probably not a contest you want to throw to. Bruce v Taz. Taz should be able to play hard on him. Jimmy gets a step. Gets it on the break. Looking for the break. Needs to get it off to a handler. Val gets it. He's looking at it. Puts up the line. There's Jimmy. Simple open throw. No one can get open. Handlers under the pressure again. There you go. Bruce with the up the line. Again, forcing up the line. Oh, Mark has just held it. Oh, that was one hot potato. Well done. They've actually turned it. They use the man and they've got a turn. And it's 5-4. Good work, Swill. Alright, let's see if they continue to run with the man. Rogers here on the sideline, maybe not feeling so good. He's had 2 points off straight in a row. And he's definitely rubbing high on his quad. That could hurt him later if they've only got 1 sub and that subs have to be taken out with an injury. Kev with the big arcing inside out. That's going to sit. That's very nice. People need to run harder though. Swill needs to run harder and get down there for pressure now. Looks like a bit of a straight up here. Kev's kind of jumping around. I think it's a straight up. If it's a straight up, you've got to mark under harder. Easy stuff. Chris Marion to get up the line. Throws it. Very nice floaty backhand. It's out of reach. No! Foley extends the arm. That's beautiful reach. Good pace, good wheels as well. 6-4. So Gilgamesh showing their class, putting it straight back in on O. Their offense has been really good. I mean, they've been getting the turns, but their offense looks pretty clean so far. Last week, saw them really struggle. Both teams, when they were playing rhubarb, both teams really struggled to get their O going early. But by the end of the game, it was pretty much give it to the opposition and they're going to put it in. So it could get harder as the game goes for Swill to actually get the turns. They need to capitalise early. Again, couple easy throws, dishing it to a handler. Receiver's not putting in hard yards. Receiver, there's about 3 people in the stack not doing anything. Val's working hard to get it up the line. Kev's late in getting square. Drop open side, about 5 metre pass. They need to play hard right now. They need to stop this disc from going up. Fatty gets the under. Johnny gets the under. It's all open though. All open. Here's a look for a break. He puts it up. Break huck. Tim versus Marty. Marty's got the sit on. Nah. Nowhere near it. Tim gets the drop comfortably. 7-4. Swill really need to clean this up. They need to get their O working. It's going to be a short game if they continue to give Gilgamesh the disc. You feel the matchups here for Gilgamesh really, really strong. Pretty much everyone on the field. They've either got a mismatch or they're just putting on a hell of a lot of pressure in a position that maybe the defender is a bit more comfortable in. Like before we saw Johnny versus Val, and Val was going upfield. Johnny probably feels a bit more comfortable there. Val probably out of his position. They really need to just make O work. See, there's Bruce cutting for that first throw. That's handy. That gets the disc moving. But now all the receivers are kind of in the stack and struggling to make a move. Handler's miscommunicating. There we go. Val gets that up the line. He's pretty much on that every time. Gets a break off. Very nice. We're attacking both sides of the field. Finally. Jimmy sticks it up. Mark Botka. Misread. Oh, that was thrown pretty freaking hard. It sat up high and it just kept going. Mike walks it up. Vert stack finally. Another man look. Oh, there we go. Miscommunication in there. Might have a foul call. I think Joe slapped him. Nah, Scary does not make any call. Johnny really didn't need to get that close to Scary there. He really added 2 defenders into about 1 metre of space. Val. Oh, Bruce is cutting when Val's not looking at him. Forced to a 3 metre throw at the ankles. That's tough. Bruce really should have stayed there. So we're giving another look at the vert stack. Taz gets the easy under on the break. Scary comfortable with breaking Joe. That's a bit of a mismatch there. Oh, Johnny for huge gains on the open side. Do whatever you like, and he looks off everyone. Forcing it back in through the middle of the field now. Scary looks comfortable against Joe. Probably a known quantity. Trained together at Flinders. Open stuff. There we go. Open side. Beautiful work. Brett absolutely owning Marty there. 8-4. Okay, so second half. Early. First half wrapped up quite early. Halftime break. Bruce is pretty confident actually. From all accounts, he's actually pretty happy with things. Talking up their offense, talking up their defense. Probably not looking at the scoreboard, trying to rally the troops. He's ever the optimist. Talking about the wind's picking up a little bit now. It's southerly, so go on to your left on your screen. So they're talking about trying to force away. So make him throw hard, against a hard man defense. I think that's the key into this slight breeze. It's probably going to pick up a little bit more. And it's going to be a downwind throw with the forehand when Gilgamesh goes to the left of screen. So that's probably a good move for downwind. Upwind, we'll see how we go. Gilgamesh on the other hand were very confident in their huddle as well, but probably a bit more deservedly so. They were really happy with their defense, happy with their offense, moving it quite nicely, and they're being really efficient with it as well. The amount of throws they're throwing per goal is quite low right now, so that's a real symptom of lack of defensive pressure from Swill. Here's the first pull, Jimmy with it. It's an absolute laser. Mike catches it above his head. And we're up on the brick mark. Vert stack, no cuts, but Foal gets the nice open side, really. There's backhand, there's away force. Val's on the wrong side. Gets the dishy back up the line. Johnny deep. I think they're trying to force all their players deep here. Fatty gets it. Weapon time. He'll probably look... Nah, he's looking handlers. Scrote there. Swing throw. Using both sides of the field. Foley throws a break anyway. Keeps it right there. They've got so many options right now. Brett throws it straight through to Johnny. Comfortable stuff. Brett doing it. Assists and goals. 9-4. So, more defense now for Gilgamesh. The offense is clicking now, as we saw last week. Later stage of the game, they start to get in gear. Swill need to match it. Oh, Val's struggling. Gets it up. Jimmy's there. Finally, we have some early cuts, but Val doesn't throw to him anyway. He likes holding the disc for stall 4, stall 5. Not comfortable. Gets it out to Bruce. Handler's making hard work of this. Throws straight to Foley. 1-2s, easy stuff. There's open. That's Taz. Oh dear. It's all falling apart now. 10-4. So Swill looking a little bit lost. The receivers still aren't giving them targets. In that point, even when they did, Val content to just hold it. They really need to to be a bit more expansive with their throws. Get the brakes on, go for breaks for yards as well. If they gain some good meters with a break throw, and it opens up the field as well. So Val's definitely got the look. Bruce has got the look, and Kev can do it as well. But confidence breeds confidence, and they're throwing well within themselves right now. There's another unforced error. Miscommunication. Val looking to attack the open side. Bruce finally looking for a break, but it was way too high in the stall count. You need to look for breaks early. Probably stall, as soon as you get it, up to stall 3. Tim moves really nicely, gets it open, puts up a flat one, it's a turn. Definitely not in balance there. So Swill's going to have 64 metres to go now for a goal. It's going to be vert stack again. It's going to be a backhand force. So they've got the whole field to move across. Throws to Joe. Finally, Joe getting used to being looked off. Kev's got everything. Sticks it up. It's floating. It's just going to go out. And Foley gets the touch for the D points. Love and life. That throw just sailing out. Jimmy probably had the sit if it stayed in, but he gave up. So Foley walks it up. Stack. Pretty set. Easy. Open side. Johnny just walks in for the disc. Fatty walks in. Scary. Gets the up the line. Again, control. Not looking to just burn it. They feel comfortable with the disc. They feel comfortable working the unders. Tim's dropped it. Ooh, nightmare point for Tim. throwaway and a drop. I don't think he's had anything of positive of note so far this game, so that might be his only stats. I might be wrong though. I don't have League Vine in front of me. Oh dear. Comfortable D. No real pressure, just silly turns there from Swill. Looks like their heads are dropped. Everyone's looking at their feet. No one's really positioning for D. Gilgamesh can pretty much do whatever they want right now. Gains up the middle. Chris Manning looks off the dump. Nah, throws the dump. Looks off the brakes though. Oh, Foley's overthrown it. Seen that a bit of late from Foley. Overthrowing things, looking for too much. I would agree that it's probably something that he's had to do in previous weeks where Gilgamesh has struggled to get the flow going, but the flow's happening now. He doesn't need to throw more than the defense is giving him. Got a call. So both these teams were 0-2 going into tonight. This is the Celadorla matchup. Looks like Gilgamesh is going to get out of the blocks finally. Chalk up a win. It's going to take something pretty miraculous here from Swill. Stall count. Stall count violation. Bowers held that to stall 10. Bowles walking away. It's going to be Johnny. Flick force. This won't be comfortable. Short range flick for Johnny. He won't feel comfortable. He puts it in anyway. Val just gave Fatty open. And they're running away again. So another timeout from Swill. Still feeling okay about it, but I'm going to call it right. I've already called it in previous points, but yeah, this is Gilgamesh's game. Right now it's about damage limitation for Swill and maybe getting some flow, getting structures working for the next couple of weeks. Even in the warm-ups, we didn't really see them looking to establish cutter movements. There wasn't any cutting drills. It was an end zone drill, and then it was just throwing in pairs. I think Bruce really needs to work on the cutting aspect, because the cutters just don't fake and get free, and when they do, it's not for 10 meters, it's for about 3. So brick here. So yeah, Bruce really needs to take it on his shoulders to actually get his cutters doing what he wants. But speaking to him, he hasn't really even looked at any ULTI.TV footage. He hasn't really looked at any of the games. He's been pretty much relying on feedback from the players in his team who do watch the game. So I don't know how that bodes for the rest of the league if he's not really going to watch. Kev forced into an ugly throw. I think there's going to be a call. Fatty doesn't care. Fatty's just moving. Fatty doesn't care. Fatty's going to go to position. And so does the rest of Gilgamesh. They've given up, and well, there you go. I'm not sure if that's a travel on pretty much the whole Gilgamesh team there, but I think Swill are going to go with play had not stopped. So there you go. So interesting little conundrum there. Kev was quite keen to have a discussion. He kind of made a call half-heartedly, but everyone kind of discussed it as play continued. And if there's a discussion, if play has stopped, the disc has to come back in with a check. So the lesson out of that should be Kev should make a call there, even if he thinks he's wrong, so that everyone has to stop play. Because Gilgamesh just kept moving, and they had about 6 plays in the end zone for Mike Palmer to line up. Just gave it to him. And speaking of giving it to him, Scary picks it up on the dump, miscommunication. Sweetaz puts up a flick. Val with the sit. Good Val. Good work. Oh, and Bruce does the exact same thing for Foley. Foley throws it a bit too far. Taz has reeled it in, but Bruce is saying, no, buddy, you are out. Taz gives it up. Well, that's a nice little money loser, I guess, for for Dream Team there. A whole bunch of points thrown away from both sides for the handlers. Bruce, sick of it all, throws a huck that no one was going to get to. He puts his hand up saying he's sorry, but I don't think he's sorry. Tim, easy unders. Foley drops it. He earned 5 metres there. So we get the dump off. We barely get a swing off. The disc was up. Got a pick call. Pretty sure the disc was up. Pretty sure the play should stand. Bruce is lagging behind here. Kev, the guy who threw it, he's up there, and Bruce is really lagging behind. I think he's feeling his hamstring. Yeah, he's bending over, feeling it. He's just not keen. He's got Taz on him. Taz has got so much more pace. Bruce feeling the pressure. Marty gets it up. Marty not comfortable in the dump. Gets it up the line to Joe. Joe sticks it up anyway. Tim forfeits the points. Doesn't even get a touch. Clean throwaway. So 64 metres for another goal for Gilgamesh. Gonna have Scrope picking it up. Vert stack again. Standard Gilgamesh play with the vert stack. Haven't really seen a host stack from them all league. Bruce gives Taz about a 6 metre gain. Really not playing that hard D until it was already too late. Foley, another pretty much exactly where Taz caught it. That's a lot of running for no gain, and then he overextends his throwing again. He's trying to get too much. Putting in a hell of a lot of work and a hell of a lot of running for pretty much no gain offensively, and then trying to get too much with his throw. Bruce gets the under. There we go. There's Joe. In. No. Mike's not calling it in. Looks like we're continuing. Throws up the line for Kev. Oh, wow. Tight spaces and a lot of work, but they finally get another one. So, Swill get defense. It's been quite a while since their last D point. The wind has picked up quite noticeably now. A bit of a stiff breeze. You probably wouldn't feel that comfortable throwing an air bounce into it. It might sit up. Still going to the left of screen. So Kev's going to be pulling into it. If Bruce is true to his halftime talk, they'll be doing an away force, forcing a forehand downwind. That's going to be hard to get a control of, get a feel for the right range on. Kev with a big bladey pull, but it's short. It's going to be about brick mark for the next throw. Ooh, got down there quick enough. They got some pressure on. And it's a zone. Took them a while to recognise, but no real pressure. Easy hammer over the top. This isn't the right look, and it's Brett Middleton. Doesn't get there. He's misread it. He had no one on him. He must have thought that that was a goal all day, and it's just sailed away from him. Johnny with that high release backhand, not really the right look for a downwind throw there. It was just caught in the breeze. So, backhand force. It's going to give Val a flick, but he won't feel comfortable with this wind. He won't feel comfortable throwing for yards here. It's quite a good throw, but it's been put down. About 20 metres for Gilgamesh goal. Big blade to no one. Scrote, I think that's one of his only turnovers so far this league. He's not usually having a look at the end zone, and he's got a bit greedy when he has. Joe with a big cut around the back of the stack, but Scrote doesn't call a pick on it. We get the break throw. We get another break for yards on the swing. Good work from Bruce. He's got Manning as a matchup. He probably feels a bit more athletically advantaged, but that high throw has turned it over again. He's calling a set, so we're going to see zone. Val wing. Marty needs to close up the gap there and not open up a new one. Bruce covers. Joe's on the mark. They're looking to line trap hard. Straight force. Oh, and Bruce has just given him to Fatty on the line. Easy inside to Brett. Easy inside again. Now we're going to have a discussion about whether a call affected the play or not. Now, if the defense stops, they really should be arguing that the play was stopped. A call was made affecting the play, therefore, looks like that's what happened. Finally, we get a bit more pressure on the mark from Jimmy. There's the swing, open goal. Scroat catches the goal. 14 to 5. My bad. So lucky for me, I do get to confer with Rob, the guy behind the camera. Thanks, Rob. Between points for the score, and it is 13-5. And it just keeps rolling on here for Gilgamesh. You'll notice that Foley, Johnny, Fatty get a hell of a lot of points. They play probably about 90% and upwards of all points. Probably come off maybe once, twice a game at max. Fatty's probably been a bit more keen to sub this game, but last two games, especially when the chips are down, last couple games have been close for them. It's been Johnny and Foley running pretty much every single point. So that could be a problem later in the league, especially when they match up against Rhubarb and Junkyard again. Picks called, probably affect the play. I think defense had stopped. Now Mike with the right call. I'm not entirely sure on Ruben's intention with the rules, but I think as soon as Mike stops for a call there, the play has stopped. If he puts his hand up and says play stopped, play has stopped, and therefore the play has been affected. So I think that's what they're all agreeing on. We've got Swill trying to inch it up here on the backhand side, home force. Jimmy versus Foley. Might be a reasonable idea if you're getting high stall count. You might favour that matchup. Fatty on Val. Val won't feel like that's a really bad matchup. He'll probably feel a bit more pressure with someone like Taz, but that assignment goes to Bruce. Dump swing, open side, Jimmy has to bid. It's way out of reach. Downwind, Val just didn't have the touch. Oh, yeah, well, they set up for zone and it's not. And there's beautiful switch from Bruce. Lots of pressure. Finally, lots of pressure. Oh, needed to bid, Val. And now they can play it like a zone. They've broken through. Bad throw, but Foal cleans up. Still in. Joe on Foal, that's a big mismatch. But he's on the disc. He'll probably want to be upfield. Gets up to Johnny. It is a poachy zone. It's probably a good look. They really don't know what to do, but they can throw straight through the middle of it. Bruce looking good to a high stall count there. Lots of holes through the middle. They still just throw through the middle. Now they're going around. Far sideline, open shot. Mike Palmer puts it in. So we got 14-5. Alright, Gilgamesh with the D to finish this game. That wind is picking up right now. It'll be, if it sticks like this, probably won't see much hucking into it to that right hand side of the screen. You probably won't see any upwind hucking. It's starting to really pick up, and it's a bit in and out as well. It's gusty, so this could get interesting. Be an interesting matchup next game, but not so this one. Val just kicks it. Sick of this. Nicer movement, but still not keen to hit. Oh dear, Val just putting it on his bootlaces. Bruce is struggling. He's not looking nimble at all. Mike looking for the hammer for about 10 counts there. He was not going to throw anything else. And there's an open shot. Taz will clean that up. Does he? Yeah, he does. He makes it a lot harder than it should have been. But we're going back all the way to Mike Palmer. What do we got? Stall count. Pick, travel, I don't know. Who cares? Away, says Bruce. Throw it away, force it away, but nope. Down. Val's going to go pick it up. There's an easy throw to Kev. He's not looking at him. Fatty poaches, throws through it. Val gets it. Here we go, open, any side. Fatty completely opens the field by overbidding. Cleans it up. We got an injury call. That was a big hard hit. Fatty looks fine. AFL player he is. Foley's taking a little longer. Rubbing his mouth. But I think he'll be fine. Injury was called though. So we're going to have Brett come on for Foley. So we've got two players here. We've got Jimmy right here. Jimmy needs to go deep. And Marty needs to as well. Jimmy looks it all off and we're back in a normal play. Gains for Kev on Mike Palmer. Bruce needs to get square. He does finally. But we're looking upfield for a bit too long. Favourite up the line cut from Val. Big floaty one for Bruce. Break throw. Just outside the end zone. Mark, safe hands. He's been really safe this whole league so far. Dump off Bruce. Throws it back into the teeth. And Johnny's right there saying thank you very much. Fatty, weapon, downwind. Taz, oh, he didn't even leave his feet. Probably had to. And then we got another 64 metres into a wind for Swill to get a score here. Everyone's looking very lethargic. Everyone's just walking back. Kev, Foxy box in there. Oh, shadow boxing. My bad, that's a terrible one. Shadow boxing there with Mike, but walks it up. Not picking it up from where it was. Good bid from Fatty, but no dice. Lots of pressure on the unders. Lots of pressure. They are having to do it though because they can't jack it. Oh, Val just leans back on it. Mark rips it out of the air. Val got away with one there. Now gets it up the line. He has to bid. He has to leave his feet. Too late. We got about 50 metres for Gilgamesh to put this game away. Everyone's real keen to cut downwind deep. Everyone's real keen to throw deep. They work the unders. Smart move. Leans back on it for Scary. Scary drops it. This final point turning into a marathon. Dump, swing, attacking both sides, leans back and it sails out. Well done, Tim. 3 points.
You just touched the bag. Oh, I touched the disc. Definitely. That was a
Pretty sure that counts as a D. I'm pretty sure a defender is always in bounds, even if they are outside of the field of play. So I'm pretty sure that's a D no matter what. I have to discuss that with Greg. He's taking the stats. Hammer gets a piece of it. Marty's kicked it into Tim's face. That's nice. You only get that in the real, west suburbs, where they like it rough. Bit of boot to the face. Val, simple one, puts it down. But we got a call. I think that's a real bonus for Val. He's put quite a few down this league. Simple drops. Bruce right there. It's not the time to be throwing push passes. Jimmy gets up. Kev. And finally a huck. This should sit, but Timmy's got a bit more speed than Mark, and he gets another D. Tim's turning around his fortunes right now. 2 Ds and 1 point. So Mike walks it up. He's so hammer happy right now. The game's won. He says, you know what? Time to showboat. Fatty with the weapon. He's just lining it up. And he very unselfishly finally looks it off. Huge break for yards. I don't know what Swill are doing right now. I think it might have been a zone. 1, 2, 3, whatever you like. Easy work. They finally put it away. 15-5. Big percentage booster. It's good stuff for Gilgamesh. That's what they needed to get off the bottom of the ladder. They can finally start climbing. They're going to need to do a lot better though. It was easy for them this week, but they're going to have to step it up again for next week and the week after. Looking forward to the next game, Junkyard versus Rhubarb. We'll bring you that shortly.